To another Neptune moon reading. I love these readings. This is where we get to delve into the mysteries of the universe using the cards and what they want to reveal to us today. They help us with our spiritual growth. They help us unveil the mysteries. So let's see where the cards want to go today. I'm going to be very open to the direction that they want to go in. So welcome. My name is Trish and thank you so much for joining me for today's reading. I'm using my Neptune moon deck here. I'm going to put a link down to where my cards are available. This deck is not available, but I do have other decks available. So I'm putting that link down below. I'll also put links to my other channel and membership over there. A lot of you already have the membership on the other channel. Also links to our discount code for Otter Spirit for where I purchase my crystal jewelry from. So that's all down in the description below. So I just want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers on this channel. I really appreciate you all being here, but I most importantly appreciate the people that continue to come back to this channel. This is my little project of my love and passion here, where I get to just do the unusual stuff, the weird stuff, the quirky stuff, the positive and high vibrational stuff here. All love it over on this channel, and I hope that you resonate with that kind of thing as well. Please share your journey as well if you're finding that your journey is kind of sinking in a similar way. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what you're looking into at the moment as well, and also love to do some more Neptune moon readings on anything that you're interested in. So just drop that comment and let me know what it is you want me to do these Neptune moon readings on, what mysteries of the universe you'd like me to delve into next. So let's get into this reading. Now, I always, as you know, refer back to my celestial gifts readings on my other channel. This is where I do our pick a card for the week and let everybody know what spirit would like us to work on to develop our gifts, our psychic abilities, and progress us on our journey, on our spiritual journeys. Now, I always have a little bonus section at the end of those readings, in those picker cards for group 4, which is the bonus section, and that's where I take my messages from for the week ahead on what I need to work on. So for the second week in a row, I'm still putting the pieces together of what it is that they've been giving to me over the last few weeks. Now, as you know, just a little recap, I had that dream about Thoth. I've been working with Thoth energies lately, delving into secret knowledge and information, how to get a better connection spiritually is all encompassed there. It's bringing back a little bit of the emerald tablets, or the principles, the 5 key principles of Hermetic texts, and I do think that I want to delve into each one. Maybe that's where I might go on this reading today, starting with the first principle. So I'm going to incorporate the first Hermetic principle, the principle of mentalism, in with other things that they've been giving me, because they do coincide. So they've been telling me to put the pieces together of what I've been learning. So first of all, before I go over that first principle, the next thing that they've given me is I've gone down the rabbit hole of the CIA Gateway program. Now, I did listen to the hemisync binaural beats that are supposed to sync the hemispheres, and I actually had a dream about it that night. They said that I skipped a very key lesson. The spirit told me in my dream that by listening and going straight to those tapes, I'm missing a really key lesson there. It's like, and they've told me it's lesson number 2 that I'm missing by skipping straight over to going straight into the Gateway project. So it's coming, but there's a little bit more to learn first. They want me to focus on, is what they told me. So they told me in the dream that there was a lot of information about mathematics and science, which I love science, and scientific principles that I need to get a better understanding of before I progress into the next stage of the lessons that spirit is bringing through to me. So it's one thing to learn from books or learn from the internet, but it's another way to learn when spirit is directly guiding you, your lesson plan for whatever we're working on. So it is a progression, and they've told me in my celestial gifts that I am putting the pieces together still. And the next part that I'm working on somehow involves the first Hermetic principle, the principle of mentalism, but also against that CIA Gateway project. And they use that for things like remote viewing. And if you remember a few weeks ago, one of my celestial gifts was told to go back into remote viewing. So that is still where I'm working and heading towards. I did discover and did a bit more research into the emerald tablets and down the line, following on from my last video, and sometimes that goes into the philosopher's stone, and I'm not really into the philosopher's stone. Philosopher's stone is about turning alchemy and turning base metals into gold, but it's also about looking for that fountain of youth, or that living forever. I kind of don't really subscribe to that, because I think that our souls are mortal anyway. So that's kind of where I sit with that. So I don't want to be here on this earth plane forever. So that's why I don't really go into things like philosopher's stone. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not for you, but it's just that's not really where I'm heading in the direction. But I do love the ability to think that we have something outside of ourselves, such as a universal mind, a consciousness, a source that we can all tap into to expand our own knowledge, to reveal hidden information. I'm all about the hidden information. I love to delve into mysteries and really just let spirit guide me to open my eyes to the way the world really is. So that's what I love, and I feel like Gateway is about tapping into something beyond ourselves. It's about being able to use binary beats or use sound frequencies, raising our vibration. And this is all things that they've been giving me along the way about tapping into sound frequencies. It's about tapping into that universal energy, but also understanding that the earth, on the scientific kind of basis, has a resonance itself. The earth has a resonance, and when it mingles with the energy of the sun through solar flares, it affects that resonance of the earth, which in turn affects our vibration and our resonance. So it's all connected, and it all really plays a really big part when it comes to being able to connect in to that source energy. And that's where we receive our downloads. That's where we receive our ability to read and be good psychics. It's also where we tap in to do the remote viewing stuff, but also to tap into hidden knowledge, Akashic records, things about time, as they've been giving me timelines and reincarnation, and things about, like the loops about endings and beginnings, and is that all happening simultaneously? These are what the cards have been saying over the last few weeks, and it's what I'm diving into in a very slow way as spirit reveals those truths to me. So this week they've given me the CIA Gateway. As I said, when I did I listened to it, and they gave me the dream to say I skipped a very fundamental lesson by doing that. So I need to go back, and they're going to reveal other basics, get a better grounding and understanding of the scientific principles before I incorporate the CIA. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's a little bit more than what's being actually revealed on the internet when it comes to that Gateway project. Maybe there's more that spirit can offer us going in through spirit, instead of going in via the Gateway tapes or the CIA Gateway project. So that's why I choose to do that by going in through spirit instead, and it allowed them to teach me what I need to learn, because by doing it the other way, they said I skipped a very basic fundamental lesson 2 is what they told me. So let's get in here and have a look. Now, the other thing that I really wanted to read on today, which I feel is all connected, is the Hermetic principles. And I wanted to kind of deep dive a little bit further into that. And I'm just going to read to you the Hermetic principle. The first Hermetic principle is the principle of mentalism. It states that the all is mind and the universe is mental. This principle suggests that everything exists and originates from a universal mind or consciousness. And if you know me, when I do my readings, I do tell you that I tap into a universal consciousness or a mind of God, a source mind. My cards actually told me to call it source, but it's still, I picture it outside of my own crown chakra, and it's like getting a antenna beam or a lead, or depending, it comes through in different ways. Sometimes it's a big, thick connection. Sometimes it's little narrow streams that I get, and I guess that really depends on what's going on with the resonance of the earth, as well as the solar flares as well, on how good of a connection I can get into that source energy or that universal mind or consciousness. So sorry about the sciencey talk, but they did tell me it's a very fundamental basic step in understanding about our psychic abilities, about our ability to remote view and receive very strong clear downloads. So it's what we're heading towards, it's what we're working on, and I'm receiving step-by-step instructions that I'm having to piece together. So today I'm going to take a look at the principle of mentalism, because they've been taking me back down the route of the Hermetic principles or the Emerald tablets, and I studied this probably a decade ago, but they're bringing me right back to it to start again in order to progress to the next stage, to be able to tap in to that mind of the all, that universal mind or universal consciousness. So this is where we're going in a very basic level. It's almost like it's step 2. This is lesson number 2 that Spirit are giving to us. So first of all, I'm just going to let the cards speak, and they can take us in any direction that they want to take us, but keep in mind that we're really just looking at the next progressing stage after and look at that beautiful light that Spirit's coming in, Spirit coming through with that beautiful energy here to say we're ready to go. We're here and waiting to give you those answers. So that was just Spirit morphing in there that you could see. There's no actual changes to lighting that I made. They're just letting us know that they're coming through. Okay, so I'm just shuffling nice and slow, and I'm not going to fast forward through this process because I'm feeling this needs to be really slowed down. Okay, so take us upon our journey. Okay, so this journey involves being fearlessly Pluto. So it's about transformations. Pluto is a planet of changes and transformations, but it's about being really fearless when we're going into the depth of the energy that we're going into. So simultaneously and at the same time. So as I said when I mentioned about timelines, and they're giving us the information on timelines and reincarnation, they seem to be taking us down a route that is happening simultaneously all at the same time. So there's no linear time is what they're kind of going with here. Now how this relates to the mind of all the mentalism, the principle of mentalism, this all takes place in that consciousness energy. Now what I've learnt in the past from Spirit about this energy is that it's a place that is stored knowledge and information that comes from every person alive now, in the past, and in the future. So simultaneously, all at the same time, this knowledge and information exist presently, non-linearly, for us to access, so we can access that information. So I guess if you're really wanting to go down the route of timelines and changing timelines, or if you're wanting to go down the area of, what is my past life, this is all really accessible at any time, all existing present time within that consciousness mind, that energy that we tap into. So really interesting little download that just came through there. Now ascending, evolution, leveling up. So leveling up our abilities to be able to tap into that energy. There they go again. There's that Spirit coming through again. So there's no sunlight or anything change in the window. There's nothing going on. There's just Spirit just speaking. So we're ascending, evolution, leveling up. So as we talk about, as I talk about the lessons that they're bringing through, and the how they told me that by jumping straight to the gateway tapes, we miss that fundamental basic lesson. So the Spirit, I want to do it in their own time, but they're saying taking it up to the next level now. So I'm spun out. I'm a bit blown away. So just if they want to speak also through the cards, to bring through their messages here as well. So they're ascending, leveling up. We are ascending and leveling up through the Spirit through the spirit messages that we're receiving. They are talking about seeing, see how that flipped out then, and it flipped straight onto this card. When this card came out, they made me talk about reincarnation and timelines, but it flipped out and landed straight on this thing here. So it's saying that eternal cycle, I'll show you the card, eternal cycle reincarnation, existing simultaneously, unfolding at the same time. They're really just spinning me out here when they keep responding through the light like that, as we're talking. So they did say this could be a distraction. There could be some kind of bondage or binding into this system here. It does say distraction, addiction, bound by technology, but I feel like there could be a bit of a binding into this system, or this system of reincarnation. It's like we're bound in it in some way, but being able to free ourselves, liberate ourselves from that bind. Now I'm somewhere between, as I'm bringing this through, and I'll keep shuffling as I go, I'm somewhere between us having free will and choice when it comes to us choosing our life that we go into, but at the same time feeling like we're bound to participate in this cycle. There you go. We're bound to participate. So it's saying that how do we get out of the binds that we have, the contracts, the soul contracts, or the feeling like we are condemned to come and do it again, or forbidden to move on in some way. This is what they're giving me now as I'm shuffling through this. And instead, how do we release ourselves from those binds, where all those contracts we feel that we are being beholden to, is what they're telling me. It's not how I normally speak. Beholden to these contracts or these binds that we feel. How do we release ourselves from those ties, those binds here? It's saying it's cosmic law. We need to balance cosmic law, balance, fairness, and judgment. So it all comes back to cosmic laws here. Ethereal echoes, past lives. Look at this, they are so amazing. I love these cards so much. It's saying ethereal echoes, past lives, simultaneous timelines. So they are definitely talking about that. So all going on. So embracing fate. So as I said, fate and free will. Now that's the fate and free will, two different things. Fate is when you are destined to do something. You feel like that's your destiny, you have to do it, it's part of what you have to do. But free will is having the choice to say, do I want to take that path or do I not want to take that path? And that's what they're revealing here. Again, like this card came out in the timelines reincarnation reading before, and it says it's a fight for human rights. We're fighting for the rights of the humans. So the humans' rights in being able to level up to the next level and being able to have free will when it comes to choosing whether we want to come back down or not. When we want to, instead of being bound to have to repeat, bound to feel like we are contracted to get something right, so we're repeating this timeline or this pattern all the time, as opposed to being free to exit that cycle and then come back with free will when we are ready and willing to do that under free will. Subtle is saying subtle, keep an eye on the signs, subtle awareness. So let's continue our little lesson and our little journey here. They keep wanting to, we're really learning more about that, learning more about things being happening at the same time. So timelines existing all at the same time. So let's take this now and connecting it back to the principles of mentalism, the mind of all. So this is where it's all existing. It's existing, and this, they're saying this is advanced knowledge that we're talking about right now. So this, so I'm going to ask them to give us what they can give us about this information, what we can understand at this stage of our learning and our journey. It's saying where we're going now is beyond comprehension. It is advanced knowledge. So we're bringing in the principles of mentalism, the mind of all, that it's all almost a, could you think of it like a simulation, like from God, from the mind of the creator, from the source energy being itself just source. So please put that piece together when it comes to all of this happening in this, I'm going to call it source, but it's also called consciousness mind, or ethereal energy. There's many names for it, but I'm going to call it source just for ease of understanding here and communication. Here it's saying it is a place where all knowledge from the past, present and future, as we just talked about, is in this place. So this is the ancient scripts, the ancient knowledge. It may not make sense to us at the time. Now I feel like this is the energy around the Hermetic principles, may not make sense at the time, or we may not be able to completely comprehend the way this all works, how this works, how timelines really work, how we're connected into the ethereal energy or source energy. What can you it may not really make sense, but could you please give me some kind of understanding in a way that we can understand, even if it's a small step at this stage? Please give me some kind of understanding of where you're going with this. No. No. Okay, at this stage it's not a lesson we're accessing. Okay, so let's see, and I'm happy to continue on, thank you, with our next stage. What is the next stage of learning? What is the next piece of this puzzle, or this next chapter in our learning? So where you told me that I missed lesson number 2, what is it that I missed? What is it that where we're going to next? Gateways. Look at this. A couple of things going on here. Stellar gateways, taking a leap forward. So this is what I said when I did that gateway project, listening to that Hemisync, I think it's called. And notice the word gateways is there, and so is the word leap forward. I leaped forward beyond a lesson that I was supposed to learn. So Spirit is saying part of that lesson is empowered choice, and that you have free will. So yes, we have free will to jump lessons, but really what we want to learn is the correct way. We want to have a deeper understanding of what they're trying to teach us about the principles, about the source energy, about what these lessons are that we're meant to be learning. And that too says alchemy as well. When I spoke about alchemy a little bit, that's not a lesson, it's not any way connected, but I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so in your words, or what you want to teach us at this time as part of our next learning, where are we going here? What do you want to talk about here? Okay, in what area? Okay, in what area? I'm still thinking about the Hermetic principles, mentalism, the first principle of mentalism. More information on that, please. It could possibly be poisoned or toxic. So whether we're talking about those hemisphere tapes that people listen to, which I did listen to a bit of it, and then I went to sleep and had that dream, or we could be talking about there is a bit of a negative energy within the source energy at the moment. So what should we do here? We need to do things differently. So it's not here, it's in a different dimension, and we need to do things a little bit differently. So what advice do you have for us in the way we need to do it? You need to put walls up. The Guardian's Shield, it's a guarded secret, but I feel that we need to be very guarded when we're entering that. Now, Planet of the Crossing came up in the last reading as well. Planet of the Crossing speaks about Nibiru, which is they say the planet of the crossing, but also talks about what the how we are connected to the creation story about Anu, the Sumerians, the Anunnaki. Is there a connection here in any way? They're saying connect, spirit channel, download information. So what is the connection here, that why you keep wanting to bring out the planet of the crossing? What information are you trying to bring through here? Okay, what I feel they're saying actually, so generations or civilizations changing, coming to upcoming civilizations, or how the generations have changed since the time of creation. Seeds creation, exactly what it says, what I was just downloading then. So what they were giving me was how the generations have changed since they've been gone. So apparently the Anunnaki came in, they created man, they called him Adamu. It's not Adam, they called him Adamu, was man. And then that was to mine the gold here on Earth. And then they eventually left the planet and just let the generations create. And they're saying how much changes, how much the generations have changed. Now, what I was picking up on in all of that was it was part of our the DNA. When I showed you the DNA card, was either a seathering to the DNA or a change to the DNA that didn't allow us access into that source energy. It kind of blocks us, or it poisons our connection. You saw from the poisoning or the toxic veil. It kind of affects our ability to get into that. So how am I going there? Is kind of what you're meaning by when you're talking about the planet of the crossing. So we were created not to be able to fully access or comprehend our true source divine potential, what our soul really means, what that connection is to divine source, and how our souls are connected to divine source. We were severed from that connection, or that knowledge, or that understanding of what was really going on there. Empathy, balance, relationship, self-love, but Venus's empathy. Okay, so Enki loved his people. I guess Enki tried to help the people, where Enlil wanted to flood humanity and wipe humanity out. Okay, reveal the hidden. So lunar illumination. And notice that they keep illuminating me with the energy here when they're coming through and talking. They just want to draw your attention back to what's going on. So, and I'm quite sure you're aware of that happening. Okay, where are we going next with this information? So I am talking about the first principle, but is it more than that? Is there something beyond that information? Guarding and protecting your energy when... okay, so I have done a reading before on being able how to guard energy when stepping in and working in that energy. Present timeline. Again, we're talking about timelines. The present timeline. The temporal headaches, because I do get them. So being able to, maybe that's part of what happens. And when I talked about Mercury, the messenger has come through again. Mercury, a couple of things happen in here. So Mercury messenger says, important message, listen, learn. Also talks about Hermes, because it's Mercury also is Hermes. And then Hermes falls back into Hermes Trismegesta, which is the Hermetic principles. So that's where all those connections are falling there. Poisoned. Toxic veil, as I was just talking about, because what I was thinking, bringing me back to the other line that they were giving me at the same time, was those headaches and those temporal headaches that happen is because there's a poisoning to the veil, beyond the veil, being able to exit the veil, see beyond the veil and connect into the source energy, can cause toxins, or can cause a toxic energy to us, causes headaches with me, but it has other side effects as well, is what they're saying. But maybe just a side effect to that very strong energy, because as in that meditation one, Amp Up Your Psychic Power, the video is called, it was talking about, it was 3 of us experienced such powerful energy when Thoth energy was coming through to give this message. So it did cause all 3 of us to have very strong headaches for days because of the energy. So is there something you can tell us about those headaches? Is it... Okay, hope, inspiration, Venus, empathy. So it's about balancing, being able to balance that energy out. And guiding star is inspiration, direction, and hope. Guidance, I guess it's guidance about balancing out the energy when it comes to tapping into that strong energy. Okay, where are we going to next? Please direct us. Simulation awareness here. Simulation awareness. It's the reality weaver. Now, connecting into this simulation. So let me talk about the simulation philosophy, or the simulation rabbit hole, where it's, some people believe, and I tend to believe this a little bit, that we are in a simulation created by the mind of the all, created by that thing above, outside of the crown chakra, where we tap into that energy. So that's okay. So what I'm getting at now, where I'm going now with this, we're going back to mentalism. That's the first Hermetic principle about the mind of all. It's all, we are created. Our existence is created from the mind of all. It's created from the source energy, kind of like our soul comes from there, but it's also creates the existence that we're living in right now. Is that correct? But in further to that, do we have the ability to help influence and direct the direction that our current existence goes into by tapping into that energy? So yes, we have the ability to expand and grow, expansion and growth, and here it's saying returning to the roots. So being able to return to our soul roots, that source energy, our soul roots, and that's how it comes through to me. It's like where our souls are part of this cosmic soul, or this cosmic mind of all. We're all part of that, and it's about how to return back to that, is what they're saying there. That eternal cycle, we're talking reincarnation again. So instead of continually reincarnating, we're being able to learn how to go back to that source energy and grow and expand, because we have Jupiter, grow and expansion, but being able to be in they're giving me something here that's uncomprehendable, is what they're giving me. That's why I had that little pause or that break. It's beyond comprehension. So it has to do with free will, personal choice. It has to do with that. It has to do with also the planet of the crossing and the creation, on how we are programmed to go over the reincarnation cycle over and over again. So our part of our programming and part of our creation, maybe our creators, whatever that is. Now this is where I'm trying to work out the difference between the two. You keep giving me information about the Nibiru by the planet of the crossing, but you keep also showing me returning back into source energy. How is it different? How is you're talking about creators and creation mythology, but then you're telling me return to source energy, return to your true source energy. What is the difference between the two? This is a seeker of wisdom or information through knowledge and information. It's a mind manipulation. We come into this life when we reincarnate and our mind is wiped. We come in, our minds are manipulated. So we forget that we are part of that source energy. Maybe we forget that because I remember part of this is uncomprehendable information that we're not ready to receive. But what I'm picking up here is something around having that as choice and free will, yes, but it's being able to don't lose this stream that I'm picking up here. Being able to tap into the conscious mind. I'm popping in and out now with this information, so that means the stream's weakening a bit here. This was such an important bit of information that was coming through. So whether we're cut off, that cloak of forgetfulness, that mind manipulation, that toxic veil that exists to manipulate our minds, to make us asleep so we forget what our true soul's connection is. Now, how does that connect into that creation myth? Maybe it's our souls that are trapped into these bodies that exist here. Maybe that's the simulation that we're trapped in. It's all probably maybe one and the same. So simultaneous, the reincarnation, the timelines. Maybe it's all one and the same when it comes to where our souls are trapped in repeating the cycle, bound by contract, bound by maybe what we feel like we have to do, or what the karmic principle is. As I said, the energy stepped back a little bit now with this, but it is saying that there is a cloak of forgetfulness, perhaps a toxic veil that cuts us from our revealing our returning home or our true source here. So let's do final words on this one here, please. Final words. Okay, prayer and gratitude. Let me just pull that energy through. I just have a quick little look at these ones. Okay, so what they're saying here with this one here is that, okay, as I was bringing this information through, it was really clear to me what they were saying, what it meant. But I hope, because we've got that no sense, that it made sense to you as well. Like, because I get really caught up in just communicating with spirit, I'm not at all connected to the camera. I'm not connected to your understanding of it, trying to explain it. I'm more about just that one-on-one question and answer, and really just engaging in spirit work. So I hope that it made sense to you as well, as the picture that they were showing me, because I don't know if I was explaining it properly or not. But they're saying present timeline, temporal nexus. I'm cutting off so I don't end up with a headache, is what they're saying there. And it's important messages. We need to listen and learn from these beautiful messages. They did say that it does continue beyond our comprehension. So it is a learning thing. We have to not skip lessons here. We have to go through the lessons as they give them. And I feel that that gateway stuff that I was learning is probably trying to skip too far ahead without having all of the warnings about the toxic veils, maybe the warnings about it, because it kept coming up. So maybe the full understanding of it, the malefic card sitting on the bottom, the full understanding of what it really is all about that we're trapped in. So, and really understanding that before we go diving into that with this hemisphere binaural beats there. But important message to learn and listen. Also, Mercury does also represent Hermes as well. So prayer and gratitude is the final card, and it's just giving thanks and gratitude for the beautiful lessons that we have learnt today, thanking the spirit team and our beautiful higher guides that have come through today to teach us on our learning and understanding of the information that's come through, and helping us to put the pieces together of all of this learning that we're endeavouring to go on. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'm back here again. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any thoughts on your journey, on where you're going, synchronicities, if you've got more understanding on certain topics, because for me, I'm learning a lot of this stuff, I'd love to hear from you. So thank you all for joining me. I will see you next time. And that's a thank you also and goodbye from Spirit.